Hey guys, Jessica here at Team Dubberoo. In today's video, I'd like to have a discussion with you about push notification ads and the creatives that are going to be responsible for getting you the clicks you need for your conversions. So before we dive into that discussion, I want to make sure you guys click the link in the description down below if you have not already taken advantage of the amazing opportunity to join us in the AFK forum. Your account is 100% free. You can get started today. So let's go ahead and look at the content. Alright, so I put together a small presentation. So pretty much the image is everything. Besides the quality of traffic, making sure that your bidding is correct and making sure that all of your targeting options are properly aligned for your testing efforts, you definitely need to focus on your creatives, mainly your icon, over a big image that you can add to your campaign that you've probably seen in a few examples that I've done on Propeller ads. So let me tell you what the important elements of your creative should be. Alright, so I put these actually in chronological order of what the user sees and how you should probably be testing as well when it comes to making sure that you get the proper clicks or improving your conversion rates, more if you're doing direct linking. If you're not doing direct linking and you're using a landing page, then obviously we would add more variables to this process. So the icon, first and foremost. The normal dimensions are generally 192 pixels by 192 pixels. Most likely is the first thing that someone generally zeroes into naturally on their phone whenever they open a notification, and it's the first thing someone sees if something pops up in the bottom corner of their browser when they're on their computer. So it makes sense. Just psychologically, the icon is going to appeal or catch their attention, so you got to get that part right. The title is second, so it's going to be the only thing in bold, the next thing directly next to the icon, so they kind of not only have to go together, but they have to be dynamic in order to not to engage the user, but also motivate them to click on your push notification message. So there's other variables that go into making sure you get those clicks, like the time that you're releasing your messages, probably where you're targeting, the devices and stuff like that. We'll talk about that later. Your description is usually just your call to action, because your URL is going to be near your description, and you'll want to just reinforce whatever the icon and the title is supposed to represent. Okay, and then your image, you see how it's a rich image, so it can be 360 by 240 pixels, or it can be even larger. I have seen dimensions that are larger than that, but it has to be on a device that enables rich pushes, or it has to be on a mobile device where someone actually clicks the down arrow to see it, which they usually don't. So the image and the big creative isn't what's dynamically important when it comes to your click-through rate. However, you do need to start cycling them with your icons if you notice that your clicks are decreasing and you're not getting the engagement you want from your audience into your campaign. So again, icon, headline, those are the combinations that you want to go the hardest on. Your description, you can play around with that too, because that's where you're probably throwing some emojis, and then your image. So then the guidelines that are pretty generic are that you need to refresh your creatives every 3 to 5 days, because you can achieve ad fatigue. So I'll go over what you should look for, what I'm trying to say, whenever you're looking for traffic sources for your push notification campaigns, which mainly is going to be how many impressions or how much traffic do they have in their base, right? Or what is their publisher traffic source looking like? Are they able to verify the quality of the publishers that are coming, or the quality traffic that the publishers are providing to the traffic source, because they're getting paid too, so we don't want to get cut out of the piece of the pie by delivering traffic to someone who doesn't really have or delivering offers and paying for impressions to someone that doesn't really have the traffic that we want. So you want to keep it stupid simple when it comes to your icons of what I'm really focusing on, because remember, the icon is the first thing that they are going to see. So you want to use bright colors, maybe even just as close to the symbol of the application that is probably going to be on the device. Right now would be Android. You're not able to program any push notifications to Apple right now, but that should be coming soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed, because that will be a game changer. And then split test as much as possible. So you'll probably see me mostly bouncing back and forth between Propeller ads and ZeroPart. And then probably a few other honorable mentions if I come across some that I'll like to experiment with. But those would just be the main ones because they have a lot of smart tools. They are active in the industry right now. They're not hiding behind the scenes when it comes to providing valuable content to their clients. So we're just going to stick with them for now. But mainly ZeroPart because of our partnership with Volume through Debru, and the Mastermind and Volume is what we use anyway. And ZeroPart is directly integrated with Volume, and tracking is there's no cost for tracking, if I'm not mistaken, for the impressions. And you can also split test up to 10 icons at one time, and on Propeller you can do up to 8 on their link rotator. So that's very helpful where it helps automate the process, and it doesn't make it tedious, because we're talking like, you know, you probably want to reach a point where you're running like 10 to 20 campaigns a day, and in those campaigns you're testing 8 to 10 creatives at a time. That can be tedious if you're setting it up step by step. So having these automated features is helpful. That's kind of why I went with these platforms, because they have the most split testing options that you can use, and it's very important to take advantage of split testing from the beginning of your campaign, because you're not going to be able to set it up perfectly. And that goes into whitelist and blacklist, and we'll talk about that in another video too. So I would say use icons versus images. So you know how, you know, you have the big image, and you probably see me just put the image as well as the icon. Technically, during testing, that's not what you should do. You should just use an icon that's a simple graphic that's related to your vertical, and just do that. And then you can 100% include emojis, but I like to call it emoji etiquette, because some verticals you don't need to use emojis, and you can do your own research in your vertical that you choose to determine whether or not it's necessary. But make it appropriate for the audience, the publisher, source that you're even using, before you go throwing random symbols into your ad. So other things that I got from my notes that I gathered from webinars that I probably watched, or a blog that I've caught here and there, and I just jotted it down, was don't use red, always use green. And I thought that makes sense because, I mean, naturally red is a symbol of alarm or caution or emergency or an alert or just stop, right? That's what you usually mentally relate to when you visually see the color red. So like if you have a red check mark, just replace it with a green one. Test blue though. Blue is a color of trust, and you can look all of these up too if you just Google what colors mean, or what kind of emotions they trigger when people review the colors. And then you also want to try bright colors, because you're still going for that pattern interrupt or that disruption where you catch their attention, make them read, make them want to click. I mentioned earlier that the time of day makes a difference. I put different. I must have been sorry. So time of day makes a difference. You probably wake up early in the morning, check your campaigns, check your messages, check your emails, see who texted you when you were asleep. So that's probably like between 5, 8 in the morning before you start your day. That's probably what other people are doing too, in particular geographic regions that you're targeting. So think about when activity is going to be naturally higher at peak, like maybe at lunch when someone's reading, or on Facebook posting pictures of what they're eating, or right after dinner, if someone's trying to catch up on some social media chatter because now they've had family time. Like, think about the peak times, get your bidding right around that. And the images you produce around those times make a difference too. Like, I may not feel like seeing something at a certain time of the day. Like, it may not be appropriate to show me something about clubbing at 9 in the morning or alcohol at 9 in the morning. Think about things like that. If you do use images though, because I did mention that you want to probably test. Don't disregard, but just don't flood your campaigns with only images either. Just give yourself room to see the difference in engagement. So if you are going to use images, use what they want to see. Like, if we're talking like a Star Wars fan or a sports fan or a sneaker fan, yeah, obviously use that image, but don't use a sneaker and then put text on top of it, which leads into my next bullet point saying buy one get one half off in red on top of a black and white Adidas sneaker. Don't do that. That clutters the image. It automatically looks spammy, and it's an automatic ad blocker when someone looks at it, right? So just keep your images super simple too if you decide you want to go with one. Like Game of Thrones is super easy. Just take a headshot of a character, you're done. Don't do anything else to it. But don't do that either, because using celebrities isn't recommended. Alright, cool. So that should get you started with your push creatives within your push campaign. So make sure you join us in the AFK forum. We have an entire section dedicated to push traffic, and we would love to hear your questions, help you guys out, give you the support you need to get started. And make sure you leave any questions for me as well in the comment section down below of the video. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Allow me to introduce the Dice University Forum. Whether you are trying to make your first conversion on ClickBank or scale your campaigns to 6 figures, the Dice University Forum offers you exactly what you need, like high-quality landing page templates, detailed case studies, and exclusive discounts. The forum has no outdated information. All resources inside are from campaigns that are running right now. Do you want to learn from super affiliates? Check the link in the description and sign up today.